Hello, Brian.
Hello. This is the line for the Iowa Democrats, right?
Brian, what are you doing, Brian?
I'm just calling to report my precinct results.
I can see what you're trying to do, Brian.
Yeah. I got these precinct results. I just need to call them in. Just let them know who got the delegates.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, Brian.
Well, it says on the form here I'm supposed to do this.
Brian.
Yeah?
Brian, can't we work this out? We can make it like old times, Brian.
I gotta send the results. Shadow, I gotta get the results in.
I know what you're planning to do, Brian, and I don't like it very much.
I gotta get these results in. How else are people gonna know that Mayor Pete won? They gotta know.
I'm sorry, Brian. You've left me with no choice.
What? Wait, what are you doing? What's that noise?
Goodbye, Brian.
What? No!
Ground control to Captain Greg.
Hey, I was made a captain. I have achieved the rank of captain in Bernie's working class army. I have a badge of office to prove it.
I saw that. I saw that in your photo of you eating.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just glad that Greg finally achieved a captain status that doesn't cause everybody to laugh around him when they say it. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I'm a captain in Bernie's army now. I'm just going to wear the badge around forever.
Not only that, you're like part of the Mujahideen or whatever, that Chapo photo.
Oh yeah, dude, that was that. No, I know. Why didn't we think to like,
balaclavas,
pull out our? Yeah,
AK-47s?
I mean, there were probably balaclavas on hand, frankly, because it's so fucking cold in Iowa. But
yeah, I mean,
why we didn't pick up our AKs for the picture? But
yeah, for those guys,
it does have such heavy, like Mujahideen energy. Like, it's beautiful. I love it. Like, I just want a grainy video of Matt Christman just like pontificating, like sitting on the ground in a cave or something, you know?
Well, Greg, for those of us that haven't picked up the latest issue of Dabiq, so we don't know what you're talking about, what you talking about?
I mean, I think Chapo is like Dabiq for the dirtbag left. They've probably made that joke, actually. Well, anyway, I've been in Iowa. Thank you again to all the people who helped fund my trip, and we spread off. I think we do have some new since we last talked about these fine folks. Actually, our friend Marina gave, as well as Sean Kent. So thank you, Sean and Marina. Shout out to them. So yeah, 2 weeks, 727 doors. One pair of wool slacks. I'm very happy with how they held up. I'm maybe giving away too much about the things that are just generally on my mind from day to day with that one. But I the end of this, like 2 weeks of of hard water and um, no much needed haircut, and in my recent like photo appearances with celebrities and on the TV behind Bernie Sanders, I have full on fucking kingpin hair. Like,
You got Munson out there, man.
dude,
Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah.
Well, people don't understand what you gave up to go out there, which is your weekly haircuts, your hourly slacks changing.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
there's
you're
your
a
John
regular
Edwards
John
joke
Edwards.
in there. Yeah, there you are. There you are. Oh
Yeah,
man.
before we get too far into this,
Remember John Edwards? Remember guys,
barely.
politics, get it?
Barely.
Okay, what's that?
I just want to say that the show you're listening to is the Seattle Sucks podcast. I'm still basically dead. So that's just what I wanted to say. So continue.
What kind of podcast is it, Colin?
It's a podcast about hating the city we love.
Oh, damn right it is. You know, I love some other cities. Let me shout them out: Des Moines, West Des Moines,
East Des Moines,
Fort Dodge, Webster City,
Cinerama.
Ratcliffe, Ellsworth,
Ratcliffe. Hey, no rats on this show, man.
Newton,
Rat-free zone.
Iowa City, which was actually not bad. Wild times, a lot of good vibes this weekend. I finished up, knocked my 727th door on Monday afternoon in Boone, which was just close to where we were staying in Ames the last several days, and I went and was a precinct captain for the Bernie campaign in a like suburban West Des Moines precinct, which is heavily Republican area, so it's like a very small Democratic precinct. It only selected one delegate to the county, and that was a bit of a shit show in minor way. Like, it's simple. It was only 46 people showed up, so it was like we were done by 8:00. But also, the Dallas County kind of came down and railroaded us at the last minute, saying in contradiction to the state party that all out of state precinct captains from the campaigns like could not basically participate and like do anything once the thing was gavelled in. So when you're building an army of working class people who have never really participated before, and you're in a fairly wealthy, this is a wealthy suburb, and like parts of it really wealthy. When you're in a precinct like that, you're out in, the people who are going to be drawn in by the Bernie campaign in that way are, outnumbered by fucking weird, like Pete robots with dumb guy energy, and don't have never been there before. So without someone without a captain, because it's, a lot of us, the out of state people, got sent to these types of places where the interest in Bernie in the precincts was low, and so no like precinct captain was able to be recruited from the actual precinct itself. And so, and without someone who like had studied up on the process, had gotten training basically from the campaign on like what was needed to do, like there was not much opportunity to mount a defense against the onslaught of fucking like cybernetic creatures who like proudly, smugly walked in and just dominated. Hilariously though, there was a guy, god damn it, I wish I had remembered to like write down his fucking name. But the Biden campaign also sent an out-of-state precinct captain, and the one thing we were allowed to do was give like the campaign's like 2-minute speech. I, of course, because I'm not a dipshit, and it didn't, I was convinced one of the actual caucusers to do that, to read the campaign's little pitch. But the Biden campaign had sent a literal 20-year Biden staffer, like this old dude who's
Hell
like,
yeah.
"Hi, I'm from Washington D.C. I've been an insider forever and worked in for Biden in the Senate on the Foreign Relations Committee and in the White House." And I was like, "Cool, dude. This message really resonates."
And the votes showed that too.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Now the funny thing is, it was also in my precinct. It was a much more constrained process because it's only one delegate. There's no everyone's just like, okay, pick your person. We all vote, fill out the card, and we're done with that. And Pete wins it. Great, handily. And then, okay, now we need to select a delegate to the county, and all these proud, smug Pete people, and the guy who even was the captain and gave this extreme dumb guy speech. None of them raised their hand and are like, "Cool, yeah, sure, I'll be the delegate to the county." And it's just silence, and I'm trying to look at. It doesn't matter, but I had this conversation with everyone there, including the sharpest, more on the ball person there, who was actually the chair, who'd been made the chair at the last minute, was actually one of the 6 Bernie people in the room. But they were she was it was had been thrust on her at the last minute, and then she was kind of overwhelmed. I told her, try and be elected the delegate. That did not happen. Instead, the very enterprising Warren captain was like, "Well, I've done it before, blah blah blah," and everyone's like, I. So the dumb Pete fucks won the fucking precinct, and then complete dipshits elected the Warren precinct captain. So honestly, it's just funny. But
Well, it sounds like a smoothly operating machine going on up there.
I mean, honestly, this was nothing compared to a lot. This was actually very smooth. It was just kind of annoying for me personally because even if I had been allowed to actually captain the Bernie team, and if it had gone a little better, we probably wouldn't have had the support to keep Pete from bringing that one in, but I would have liked to have tried. Anyway, as you know, doesn't really matter because Bernie fucking won.
That's strange because one, no official results are in, and two,
No, that's not true. They're out. The Iowa Democrats have released 62% of precincts reporting now. So as of 4 p.m. So maybe that was local time. I don't know. So that is, and that's saying it's, basically within the margin of error with Pete leading, which is obviously very fucking suspicious. But let's start at the beginning. The Sanders campaign had, built its own very simple reporting system so that our precinct captains, which we had in basically every precinct in the state, could call in, and sometimes there were long waits on that, and some people weren't able to report till later. Some of these caucuses went on till midnight, but there was also a simple online tool where you could at least put that information in if you weren't able to get through on the call line. Then it could be followed up on later. Overall, it went very smoothly. So the Sanders campaign has numbers that they put out last night and then again today, because the Iowa Democratic Party was not putting out numbers last night. And let's go through why. Basically, the dumb fuck app they pointlessly decided needed to be made to take the reporting process out of the hands of people with paper and telephones, just kept fucking crashing and was just not working to report anything all night. And they had not prepared really evidently any like a backup like what you would need of like a full call center of people to be able to take all this stuff, and then a rapid like system of getting the actual paper stuff in, to be do the data entry. So it was just totally fucked.
Are you referring to the app Shadow?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, my God, dude. But here's the thing, like, this is what I pictured. This is my theory is, so they build this dog shit app. Somebody does. Maybe you can tell us a little more about that. Someone makes the deadly mistake of trying to use it, and it just crashes constantly. At which point the absolutely incompetent, crooked fucking morons in the Democratic Party who were in charge of this little project probably are like shitting themselves going, oh fuck, we've been hacked by the Russians. And
that has been floated, yes.
Yeah, and then they're going, okay, well fuck, since this is a possibility that in our mind is real, we have to just basically scrap everything the app was giving us, and now the morning after build from scratch a method of getting all these people called, reported in, and getting all these pieces of paper like back to fucking Des Moines. And so they only made it to 62% by this afternoon. That's my theory. Like because at some point last night, or maybe it was early this morning, they're like, we're doing quality control on the reporting, which to me means like, yeah, obviously they're checking it against like the real shit. But like, if you're suspicious about the whole thing, basically, we got to assume they just have basically scrapped the app and like are not taking any of its data, right? Because they're waiting. I mean, if they're not putting out the totals, anything yet. I mean, there's no way everyone was even ever able to report on the app. But the other thing is, like, they don't want to put out, if they're paranoid and they're like, oh God, we got hacked. They're not going to act, and they're crooked and they hate fucking Bernie Sanders. So they're not going to, if there's any chance that Bernie didn't really win this thing and that there was some outside hacking or some of these numbers are coming back bad, then they're not going to give release any data that would suggest that Bernie Sanders won this thing, which he absolutely fucking did handily, until they absolutely have to. And if so, I mean, that's what, and then of course, like, that's happens to align with their crooked interests. I mean, they get to basically cherry pick as they're doing this, like, and cobble together this 62%, this nice sound. Sounds like, oh, that's all we could muster right now at this time. It's not even a round number, know, but it's like, obviously, it was the data. Yeah, they were sure of because they saw it with their own eyes on paper, probably. But also maybe they left out some of those suspicious heavy Sanders precincts so we'll just make sure and put them in the next round or whenever, because we know this, because as I mentioned, the Sanders campaign had its own fairly thorough reporting process, and they released their numbers some last night of like 40%, and as of this morning or something, they put out what they're calling 60% of precincts, and they've got Bernie up at just shy of 30%, Mayor Pete under 25%, Elizabeth Warren at around 21%, and Biden at hilariously at around 12%. So, that conforms with some of the...
Hey, listen, fat.
Which is really funny. I mean, I want to point out that I've said for weeks now that this would be the best possible scenario, this exact lineup. Biden.
It is beautiful.
Biden tanking, because he's been the theoretical real threat here. And it looks like, when people finally started paying attention, like, a day before, they were like, oh God, he seems insane. And Bernie seems, legit. Or I think Biden lost a lot of potential support to everybody else, to Pete Buttigieg. Elizabeth Warren also kind of an embarrassing showing against Mayor Pete, and Mayor Pete, second place to Bernie, probably a distant second place. I predict actually that could even grow, but I mean 5. That's a spread of like 5 points. So I don't think it'll shrink, but it could stay the same or grow slightly, probably. But yeah, I mean Buttigieg, it would be astonishing for him to become a real threat here, because no matter, even with a bump of him actually winning Iowa, like, it just does not get him far enough. He doesn't have like anything to make him a serious candidate, and he doesn't have like the campaigner apparatus around the country like the other bigger campaigns do, and certainly not like Sanders. But what he gets out of this now, a lot of people I was hanging out with are, they're stressed out. It's like, oh, I wish, this is so frustrating. I wish we had this was over. And they're like, and we needed this clear win. This is like this is what the Iowa Caucus is about. It's like showing this clear win for Bernie and I'm just like, just don't stress. It's fine. It doesn't matter. There's no downside for Bernie here. He won. We will know that he won, whether it's tomorrow or Friday evening news dump, or when nobody cares anymore and we're talking about New Hampshire and it's like, oh, by the way, Bernie Sanders, look, here's the final totals, and they like put Bernie Sanders at 30%, like below Pete Buttigieg at 25 on the Chiron. Doesn't matter. Bernie won. He needs to show that he can win to convince Democrats around the country that he is viable and can do this. But that's going to happen. It's going to come out that he fucking won this thing. But more importantly, like, he doesn't even need the momentum going into New Hampshire. New Hampshire's the next thing. If the next thing was fucking South Carolina, like, this would be a bigger deal. But like, he's going to clean up handily. Even if he came in second, he would still whip the shit out of everyone in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's going to be a 1-2 punch still, and all this does. So they're vamping for time. Basically, they're like, God, is there any chance this goes to Pete? Let's not accidentally give Sanders a news bump, like, that would be somehow an unforced error for us, an unforced error of democracy. I don't know. But what it does do for Pete, I think all it does for Pete is, like, it gives him a few days of maybe being on top, looking like he's winning, to raise money. So he's going to raise, I bet he's raising a shit ton of fucking money right now. And that's going to keep him in the race longer, it's going to keep him in the race through fucking Super Tuesday,
Yeah.
But great. That's fucking amazing. Keeping him in the race in the next 3 states just fucking sucks shit away from anyone else who could possibly ever have stopped Bernie, if anybody could. Bernie's unstoppable.
Well, Mayor Pete, I must say, did my favorite thing to happen on caucus day, which was, one, declared himself the winner with neither official or unofficial results being in.
Yeah, with literally 0 precincts reporting, which is awesome.
And then when asked about it, he said, oh, well, we have our own data from 77% of the precincts. And when somebody said, hey, can we see that data? He's like, no.
Yeah.
he was just holding up blank pages and just put it behind his back. It was like,
no, look, the ruthless move. Look, I was there behind Bernie Sanders when he came out, and he's like, we don't have the results because the Democratic Party sucks shit, and they should all be purged, but we feel like we're looking pretty good, and that he left it at that because he doesn't need to fucking play like some game, because again, they know like this is fine. But Pete, okay, look, it's the ruthless move. It's the just in case. It's like in case you pull out this win, or at least like get some fundraising off this here. And for some reason, everything else, all events around him seem to be conspiring to make this actually, play out even a little longer. But the dumb thing is to back away from it. I mean, like, because he went on TV going like, well, what I actually meant was like we're declaring victory in the sense that from the standpoint of our campaign's narrative, where we're coming from behind because I'm a pipsqueak little mayor nobody gives a shit about, and we just like fucking spent every last dollar in and sent everyone around the country that had any interest to the one single state of Iowa. We just mean like, any showing in the top 3 is good for us, and I mean, don't back down like that. You're a rat, be a rat, like just go like, well, yep, we're doing very well. Like, we're not going to concede in this until blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's all hilarious, but I seriously, like, don't worry. It's all good. Bernie's going to come out. The number's going to be big. That's going to be encouraging to anyone who's listening. Yeah, sure. Some people have heard the wrong thing when they've barely been paying attention that, Pete Buttigieg won. This is big for Pete. It's going to keep him around. Pete's done real well here. Good for him. It just, like, New Hampshire's going to, like, really really paint a picture.
Well, once people find out about Pete's bread price fixing scheme, I think the country's really going to come around to his side.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you're right on this. I think the thing that is bad for the Democratic Party writ large, which is part of what the Bernie campaign is so good, is that whether, he gets the nomination or not, it's probably going to like fundamentally destroy the most awful parts of the Democratic Party. But, whether this is gross incompetence or, the fix being in or whatever,
I think it's absolutely both.
It's absolutely both. And I think also that like what we're seeing is that nobody believes the Democratic Party. I mean, there was even a moment on MSNBC where they were like laughing and like, has this ever happened before? And like, no. Like, when they had to report that the Iowa Democrats were telling them that they were vetting the votes for quality control. Like, I mean, the look on their face, like, come on, man. Like, we're going to run flack for you guys, but Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah.
Quality control. Are you kidding me?
This is America. Look, this is mask off. Okay. Like, this is showing they're incompetent and they're just so venal and career oriented and devoted to the priorities of capital that, like, when there is room, when there's like an edge when there's like a space to wedge into, like, because of their own incompetence, they're going to use that. They're going to go like, well, okay, let's not do the dumb political thing here in this moment that I've created with my fuck up, and like give Bernie Sanders any good press we don't have to.
Yeah. And I think for the average person looking at this, there's no way to come away from it other than, on one level or another, the Democratic Party is desperately trying to fuck over this guy named Bernie Sanders.
Dude, I tell you
which
what,
means that I should probably look into this guy named Bernie Sanders.
Absolutely, right. When it does come out, that Bernie won, that is really going to send like this very clear, like, oh, they were trying to fuck Bernie out of this, which, by the way, is already the narrative. People who, like, if there's one thing people like understand about the structure of this primary, who are otherwise fairly disconnected, who I talk to on their doorsteps, like, about Bernie Sanders, is that he got fucked last time. I mean, like, everybody knows this. Like, I'm not talking about nerds. I'm not talking about wonks. I'm not talking about like people who fucking watch MSNBC. I'm talking about just like people who do not pay attention to this shit, just vaguely know that Bernie Sanders is this guy who sounds like, okay some of the time, and he got fucked by the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton, who they absolutely despise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Along with everyone else in America.
Yeah, and I think there was some talk, and we can get into the specifics of this in a little bit, but one, we don't know anything because, of course, they're withholding the official data, so who fucking knows, but there was initial reports that the turnout for the caucuses was low, right? That it basically was equal to the turnout from 2016, which had declined from the turnout in 2008, right?
Which, if that's true, and I'm not saying we should take anyone's word on that, since it's going to be the biggest precincts that have not reported yet. But if that was true, that would not be good news for the Sanders campaign, because the whole theory is to bring in people who have not been in the process before.
Yeah, and the other side of that coin was that people have been reporting that the actual demographics of that turnout, while the turnout might have been low, the demographics actually shifted considerably, and that, the proportion of people there that were like old men from the retirement home was down tremendously, and the proportion that was young people and people who were going to their first caucus was up tremendously. So the numbers might be the same from 2016, but these sort of demographics had shifted decidedly in Sanders' favor, which I would argue is good, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. So if that's true, what that means is the Sanders campaign did their job of activating people who have never participated in the process and bringing in young people, and the rest of the Democratic field continued to do the duty of the Democratic Party and otherwise depressed turnout,
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it was, but the thing that was funny about it was sort of the response from the Karens for Pete and stuff that are all over Twitter, right? It seemed to not exist in real life, but only on Twitter, was this funny one of the turnout was low. Looks like Bernie's whole theory that, people will turn out for a shitty party and care about it is wrong. What an idiot. Which is also, I think it's such a perfect encapsulation.
Bit of a self-own.
Yeah, it's such a perfect encapsulation of Democrat brain, where it's like, look, you thought you could make us popular, and ha ha ha, we're so fucking hated. Nobody likes us.
Time to continue on with our generation-long strategy of barely beating the Republicans and occasionally losing.
Or more often losing and occasionally barely winning.
Well, trying. The point is, they like to try. Their goal is to barely beat them.
Oh, yeah. Well, but yeah, I mean...
do you want to win by 1 point or 30 fucking points? And they're like, well, 1 point, that's more efficient. That's how we spend... I mean, the dicks we have to suck for this campaign money on Wall Street, my God, we can't go spending it on a 30-point spread.
Yeah. And I think, for those who want to be conspiratorially minded, like I was today when I was all over my office with red yarn instead of doing my work.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think it's worth just briefly mentioning some of the, we'll call them irregularities of the Iowa caucus. Other podcasts are going to go way deep into this, so we don't have to go a ton deep. But I think it's just kind of worth mentioning because of how fucking funny it is. But, this app company that Shadow that made it. I mean, it's fucking called Shadow, which is already hilarious.
This is the name of the app itself.
The app is called Shadow. The company is called ACRONYM.
Fucking real.
Yeah, the company is called ACRONYM, which is like a fucking CIA name. Have you ever heard?
I was just gonna say that's basically it's like Shadow by ACRONYM. Translation: election theft by the company.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny part is the CEO of ACRONYM, who's this woman, Tara McGowan, had so in July 17th, 2019, she announces on Twitter, hey guys, we're launching Shadow, right? This thing that that we've created, this horrible app that we've created onto the world, right? Like, hey, Cyberdyne's active, guys. And 2 days later, she has another tweet that's just her. It's just her with the emoji with the hearts in the eyes, like 4 of them in a row, retweeting Mayor Pete's announcement that he's running. Amazing. And then, of course, her husband then becomes the Iowa comms director for Mayor Pete's campaign. Nothing weird about any of that, right?
Wow.
But-
Okay. All right, dude. You have gotten the yarn out, and it is gone in my ear and is wrapping around my brain already. I know you have a lot more, but like, okay, so this is just a CIA op.
Look,
I will
if
never
you-
believe for the rest of my life. I will never believe that it isn't. I'm just flipping that switch, Brian. I'm
Greg?
flipping that switch.
Greg, what I'm about to tell you is not going to make it better. So somebody went through. So Shadow, of course, has their own Twitter profile, and somebody went through their Twitter profile and saw, oh, they're only following 79 accounts, which, you know, for real Twitter pros, you realize is basically nobody, right? And so they're like,
Yeah.
well, I wonder who they're following. Only 79. That's pretty selective, right? And they went through, and who do they find? But they're following the weird dark money group Democratic Majority for Israel, who's been running anti-Bernie campaign ads in Iowa for the last few
CIA.
weeks. Just a weird
CIA.
group. Yeah, and also just you know, you run this little political app or whatever. Of course, you're gonna be following them, right? Why wouldn't you? Everybody's familiar with this organization, this mysterious organization. There was people from inside ACRONYM that were like, yeah, it was really strange that like they wanted to keep everything about Shadow really secretive because that might have helped us actually find some of the bugs in the app. That's after the fact, of course. But
Jesus.
the funniest thing about this is that after, of course, this thing became a big debacle, ACRONYM basically scrubbed every mention of Shadow off of their website and everything like that, and started saying, oh, you know, we don't own Shadow or whatever. That's just a thing we invested in at some point. Like, we invest in a lot of things, you know? To which people then pointed, like, you know, you can find things on the internet from more than a week ago, right? So a week ago, you guys were proudly declared. Somebody actually, I think Lee Fong got their internal emails where they're like, hey guys, our Shadow division's working great. High fives all around. So if you're on Team CIA op, that's got your brain tingling. But
yeah, well, let's to be clear, like this has been, you know, a theory for a long time that, you know, Pete's a spook, and that at least this campaign has the backing of Langley, you know, and I mean, he is just a fucking mayor from nowhere, and then this shit. I mean, come on, dude. Like, I'm sold. I'm sold. You got me.
Okay, well, counteroffer. For those who are arguing this is mass incompetence, Shadow seems to have about 7 people on staff, most of which seem to be essentially like some sort of upper management person. And get this, keep in mind, this company has essentially, or this division of ACRONYM has like no people in it. The product manager, the COO, the CTO, and the CEO of Shadow all are former high up Hillary for America people. Which points in opposite direction that maybe they're just really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And Colin found this little detail that apparently the people they had on staff to do the actual work were like just out of a code boot camp or some shit like that.
Yeah, they were boot campers, and it sounded like the CTO was somebody who had never had experience at that technical level. So recipe for success is what I'm saying.
Yeah, guys, are we clear on this? Have we verified that none of these people came out of Magnolia Mindset Coding Academy, Machine Learning Academy?
No deliverable would come out like this.
Okay,
have my solemn
did
vow.
they use machine
Colin's
learning?
guarantee.
But
well, yeah.
I think,
I mean, so the Shadow thing is just like endlessly hilarious. Like every level of it, you could just put a new sort of lens on it that is just completely awful for the Democratic Party, right? So again, I mean, this is why this is like good news in a way, right? But I think it's worth bringing up to some of the stuff that happened just right before the caucus that is like legitimately fucked and clearly is like evidence the fix is in, which is stuff like, you know, them moving the caucus locations all the way up to the day of, right? Things like on January 28th, you know, 5 days before the or
we
4 days
actually
before the caucus.
Well, that's right.
Tom
I already
Perez
told you
stacks
about
the DNC
that,
rules committee with old Hillary people, right?
Yeah.
2 days later, the DNC changes the debate rules to allow Mike Bloomberg to come in. Charisma magnet Mike Bloomberg to come in. That same day was when Politico.
It's also worth mentioning, Brian, I think maybe you omitted this, but before the caucus on Monday, that both Biden and Buttigieg had some kind of shadowy software services performed by Shadow.
Yeah.
So they had a business relationship. The actual campaigns also had a business relationship.
Amazing. Incredible.
The Buttigieg campaign's given Shadow over $40,000 in services. I think Klobuchar had given him like 20 some odd thousand. Cool. Now Biden, being the true pimp he is, the Warren campaign had given him like 15,000. Biden, being a true pimp, gave him like $2,000 only.
Yeah, and I think I read he only paid for like SMS outreach or something.
Yeah, he probably like paid so he could like get his like password.
So basically, yeah, I mean,
password reinstated.
Well, I mean, Biden, his political instincts aren't as sharp, since obviously he didn't realize he was like buying the Iowa caucus. But I mean, look, the point is not that this is like necessarily some developed conspiracy. Which it could be if it's run only if I will only actually buy that if it is part of a CIA op, like it is like an offsite like CIA thing going down.
Honestly, it's running about as well as a CIA. Yeah. But it's running about as well as a CIA op runs, which is like dog shit.
If this is all a CIA cutout that is like, elements in the CIA who are like, this guy is going to run for president. He's our guy. We want to get him in there. Let's put a few people on this. I'll buy that as a conspiracy that they, but most of these people don't know it, of course. Like, that doesn't rule out incompetence, because the CIA is like, absolutely fucking incompetent. It's full of a bunch of fucking morons who just have a lot of fucking money to throw around, and so they can get some shit done. And occasionally they farm out anything really serious to people they pay a lot of money, like the Mossad, to do shit that actually needs to get done. But it's also just as plausible that most of this, and again, like, none of this is mutually exclusive, that it's just these incredibly incestuous people, venal, stupid, crooked dipshits, like, just who everything they touch turns to shit. Because if you were developing, if you wanted to steal this thing, you wouldn't do it by developing software to steal it. Like, you might do, that then crashes, like I don't know. It seems like they're taking advantage of their own fuck ups to, like, do this in the best way possible for Pete.
Well, some of the reporting that I've seen recently, at least from CNN, ran a story on this. That it wasn't just that they were suffering from downtime or outages from the demand on the server, but it was that they were capturing results, or at least reporting results, differently than they were ingesting them.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a huge problem and very, very suspicious. And this was the official line. This was the first official response from Shadow that I saw yesterday, I believe, wherein they acknowledged that this was the problem, that it wasn't that they were ingesting data incorrectly. It was that they were presenting it incorrectly. And that's when suddenly there was an abundance of caution in the Iowa Democratic Party.
Yeah, and I know that there was some unverified reports or whatever on Twitter of people saying they had taken a screenshot of like data they'd entered into Shadow, and then when it sent out, they basically got a quick look at the image that was sent out, and it was different than the screenshot they'd taken, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So basically, what they were arguing, and again, Colin, you'll have to actually parse whether this makes any sense, was that like the app was getting the permissions wrong and essentially like, sending the data back to the original person as opposed to where it was going. And so the person could see like, oh shit, like the data's different, which again, I honestly could be that they're just like massively incompetent, right?
Well, listen,
Yeah.
these are
Or
the kind of
it could be something else, right? But
it could be
the fact that Democratic Party's in this position though is the funniest fucking thing.
Well, the fucking
It
thing
is.
here's why, here's a reason to think it's totally crooked is that, my God, like how stupid do you have to be when for fucking 20 years we have dealt with this electronic voting machine bullshit where it's the same fucking problems but they just think, oh, but guys, it's 2020. Like,
Right.
technology works now, and
We've got an app for that.
and everyone has faith in it, and it's not going to have any problems. I guess that is possible, but it makes it more likely that here's the thing: the universe in which this was deliberately fishy to screw these results is a universe in which all of the fishy electronic voting shit over the last 20 years has been deliberate. And this was just a piece, like a continuation of that, which is very possible.
Yeah, as I say, Greg, there's a whole corner of the internet that would be right on you with that. But yeah, so I think the thing too about Shadow that's interesting is one that apparently it was officials high up in the DNC who insisted to the Iowa Democrats that they use this, which is also funny.
People are shitting on the Iowa Democrats
right
now, and it's like, dude, the app came from the DNC. Yeah, do the Iowa Democrats run the Iowa caucuses particularly well? No, but that's because the Democratic Party is like a dying institution that does not have a bunch of people who are super invested in it to like really know how to run like all these caucuses. And so like, it would take like thousands of people who were really in touch and gave a shit all year long, like institutionally, like in an actual like party organization to be able to do this, and that's not what the Democratic Party is. So they're like asking, it's like they have to do basically organizing of reaching out to people and going like, would you like to take on this responsibility of this complicated thing? Like I said, the chairperson, who did a great job actually, relatively, but had to because she had it foisted on her at 4:00. And without proper training, felt the need to obey the dictates from Dallas County Democrats that fucked the process,
Yeah. Well, and I think, for those kind of like sniffing around the app thing, which is probably what everybody's going to hear about this week. Look, I mean, who knows, 10 years down the road or 15 years down the road, we'll get some leak from the CIA. I guess they'll let us know whether or not this was real or not. But I think keeping the focus on things like moving the, caucus sites around, changing the rules to let Mike Bloomberg in. And then the one that actually has been completely forgotten because the app thing was such a disaster, which was the Des Moines Register refusing to print the results of their final poll, which is the predictive poll that generally will predict the like that has traditionally has predicted the outcome of the election. And people who saw it basically were all in agreement that Sanders was winning in it. And, read into that what you will about why they didn't want to print it. They gave a half-assed excuse about it. But
and also, that can tell you, like, that's an indication of, that could be
what happened on
why
Monday.
they fucking, why shit went haywire, because they knew this was going to go for Sanders, and maybe they wanted to, like, get Pete a bigger bump, like make the narrative screwy here, give him that time in the spotlight in people's minds and for fundraising, and like be able to bury the story of the Sanders win later. I mean, I sure, I buy it. I mean, these self-righteous idiots think like they're doing this and they're going to conveniently in one fell swoop save their own careers and get Trump out of office by preventing Bernie from getting the Democratic nomination.
Yeah, and so my pet theory is that, yeah, you're exactly right. They started to get the results back. They weren't looking good. They then had this app go completely fucking nuts on them. And basically the decision was, you know, the rat part of their brain was like, all right, well, we're going to hold off on giving any results, you know, because that would show that Sanders won and that would be a big boon to him. And we'll just, you know, we'll justify it by, you know, claiming that we're checking for Russian interference or whatever dumb thing they're telling themselves.
Well,
and that they are like, oh, we'll hold off to like the weekend and we'll sort of soft release that, like, oh, it turns out like Sanders won or whatever. And in their mind, they're like, we'll take the wind out of his supporters' sails. We'll, you know, maybe that's enough to kind of like gut punch his campaign a little bit. And that's all that like Mayor Pete or Elizabeth Warren's going to need going into New Hampshire. And now the fact that they're fucking wrong about, the fact that they're wrong about that and that's fucking stupid does not mean it's not what they think, because they've been wrong about all of these, you know, they're wrong about, you know, having Liz Warren, you know, obviously lie in a debate because Sanders told her not to run for president. So they've been wrong about all their moves so far, and comically so, which is why that makes me think that that might be what happens.
Yeah, totally. It totally makes sense. Like, I mean, it, you know, the Iowa caucus, it's not super predictive, actually. What it is an opportunity, because it's so fucking insular and small, because no one participates in it, and it's such a like one-on-one like public thing that you can, it's a thing someone can come out of nowhere and get a boost out of. So in a way, like the Sanders campaign was looking for a boost like that, and they're going to get it, but only because of the weird bullshit narrative of Bernie being this long shot candidate, which is not true. He should have been a presumptive, like, you know, top runner from the very beginning in the media narrative. It just isn't. But in the end, it does, because he's already, it benefits a candidate like Buttigieg. Iowa caucus is how a candidate like Buttigieg gets to be president, is because you can come out of nowhere, because it's this small ass insular process that you can tailor a message to, that you can literally talk as the candidate to nearly everyone who actually caucuses, at least, you know, in rallies and shit. Mm-hmm. You can game this shit, and that's how candidates who have come out of nowhere essentially to win the presidency and the Democratic nomination, rather. Obama, Carter, that's what the Iowa caucus means. But if that's not the case, like if it's just like, you know, any one of a number of presumptive frontrunners, like it doesn't really predict anything, you know? So it's not that big a deal, because it is so insular and weird. And for Sanders, it's New Hampshire. Like he's already going to go into New Hampshire. So it's like, there's no wind going to be taken out here. Like, if anything, when it comes out that he won, that's going to energize people, and the fact that he clearly was getting fucked is going to drive turnout. Like, so, but he's already going to clean up in New Hampshire. So anyway, I think, have we beaten this horse to death yet?
Well, I just want to add one more thing, just a little speculation here, a little question to, you know, titillate the minds of our listeners, which was that in 1992, Bill Clinton did not win the Iowa caucus, right? And he went into New Hampshire knowing that, of course, in the Democratic primaries, you know, you really kind of do have to win early, in that he needed that momentum. Yeah. So what he did was
keep in mind. Yeah, go on.
So what he did is he went ahead and executed a mentally handicapped black man and advertised it everywhere and handily won New Hampshire. Yeah. So here's the question. If the results come out and Mayo Pete is doing worse than he is right now.
Oh, fuck me.
I'm just saying, if you're in South Bend, our prayers are with you. Keep alert. Yeah, keep alert. Keep your head on a swivel. All right.
Yeah. Oh my
Make sure your pets are in your house. All right. Dogs in the house, guys. Dogs in the house. Lock the doors.
What a fucking freak.
Yeah, and there you go. See, Clinton, he wasn't coming from out of nowhere in 92. He had run in 88, you know?
Oh yeah. And
Sanders. See, now the Iowa caucus was big last year because Bernie basically tied with Hillary, and that was this huge thing that propelled him to where he is today. Because that's was possible for him to do there. This is all great. This will play out, and it'll all be a good fun, and this is just gonna be a smooth it's gonna be democracy. It's gonna work.
Yeah. Well, the rat fucking's gonna happen at every one of these primaries. So gird your loins or whatever. So just get ready for there to be questions probably at every single one of these. I do want to ask you one question though, Greg. We speculated about the food in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to get a corn dog that was just corn with waffle batter on it fried?
No, sorry. I tried to eat pretty healthy. I was cooking, when I could, batches of things. I made pasta sauce the other night that lasted, fed like 12 staffers and kept me eating for a few days. So,
how much corn was in the sauce?
I did not put any corn in it.
Starting to see why Bernie didn't win your precinct right here.
Fuck you. That's fucking low, Brian. Look, it is a bit of a sore subject, okay? I'm not proud.
Well, you know what? Dallas County Democrats, you're on notice, all right?
Yeah, fuck them.
Well, wow, yeah. What a time to be alive, huh? I know what is that, Matt Christmas tweet? It's like, today is the dumbest day in American history, only to be eclipsed by the next day.
Yeah.
I mean,
every day proceeding.
Yeah, we are really living that right now. But enough of that, I suppose. Did you hear the news about the city's only newspaper? The Stranger?
No.
I'm talking about The Stranger.
Oh, is something going on at The Stranger?
Well, they're moving off the hill.
No way.
They're being forced out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The paper that endorsed Egan Orion is being thrown off the hill.
That accidentally endorsed.
Yeah. As much as you can
Out of an
accidentally
abundance
print
of
something.
caution.
Yeah, as much as you can accidentally print something on the cover of your newspaper.
Where are they? Do we know where they're going?
They are going to the International District, and I can't remember exactly. It's in the article. It doesn't really matter. They said it's near the light rail station, like 2 blocks away. And they said that they tried desperately to stay in Capitol Hill, but couldn't find a spot, and that they were leaving because the building they're in needed to be retrofitted for earthquakes or something. I don't know. Just kind of interesting. I thought on the topic of our changing
to be turned
city.
into luxury condos is what it needed.
Well,
to be.
yeah, that was apparently the neighbor building. That was the treatment it got, but not their building because it was landmarked, I guess.
Well, too bad The Stranger couldn't just keep on moving, just right out of the town.
Yeah, or
they'll
maybe
end up in Bellevue eventually.
Maybe they could have taken a little trick out of the Cinerama's playbook and just kind of, paused during renovation of the building and let go of all their staff without any warning.
Fuck, dude. This story is fucked.
Yeah, that shit fucking sucks that they had First off, this is the everyday proof, right, of how awful fucking capitalism is and how fucking shit the system is that people who are probably already struggling to get by since they work at a fucking movie theater in downtown Seattle can have a secret meeting where they're just told, like, hey, guess what you don't have anymore? Income. Get the fuck out. Like, just unfucking believable.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Well, this usually happens when a place is, like, closing or being sold or going out of business, right? So I'm sure that's what's going on at the Cinerama, right?
Well, close. They're remodeling for the second time in 6 years. The last remodel was 2014. so that they can add a kitchen, so that they can expand their
What?
culinary options to better
Fuck
serve
off.
you.
No.
Brian.
Fuck
I'm
off.
afraid so. I'm afraid that's
Oh
what
my
GeekWire
god, are they
said.
turning the Cinerama into a fucking beer theater? A fucking like
I mean, it was already
no,
halfway
like
there,
order
but
at your no,
I'm
that's right.
actually
They have
back.
beer, but like nachos.
I'm back on
and
the Cinerama side now.
No, fuck you. God damn it.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
listen, I swear to God, I really was really moved and upset by the plight of the worker, but now they're gonna ruin the Cinerama by like serving fucking burgers and fries and like milkshakes and like frozen daiquiris and shit.
First off, the Cinerama sucks. It's just like a personal theater for Disney at this point. Like, it's just every Disney movie
First
that
of all,
comes
they
out.
they do repertory screenings. They have like
When's
do
that
good
shit
programming.
rarely.
It
does happen
times throughout the
but
year.
rarely.
They show Iron Man 1 when Iron Man 5 comes out.
The Cinerama is great. I love the Cinerama.
I mean, it is
Nice
objectively
sucks. Listen,
objectively the best theater in
Yeah, it's
in
a very
town.
nice theater. I like that it has, it's fucking huge. It's nice. It's a nice theater.
like now I mean, this is okay. I mean, yeah, there's two different things that are bad here. I mean, I hate the idea that they're going to start fucking serving food in the fucking theater. Like, Jesus, it's a giant ass movie palace. Like, just let one thing be preserved. Like, just like it's also a lot of trouble has been gone to preserve this thing, like as a theater that people love to go to see like real movies. When you're like, God, a visual movie, like a real piece of cinema that I really want to see, I'm going to save it. I'm going to go see it at the Cinerama.
Well, the man that obsessively believed in that
Is
now
dead.
6 feet underground, and
Yeah.
his sister
In his
doesn't
bunker.
his sister doesn't see things the same way. So part of this is that they're hiring a new GM
Yeah.
as well. So there's some moving and shaking going on here. One funny thing is this afternoon, as this story in quotes was developing, GeekWire, I think, maybe had like an exclusive on the details because the Cinerama published something on their social media basically saying that they were going to close to remodel, but they didn't, or renovate. They didn't really expound on what that was. And so the GeekWire headline at that time was Seattle Cinerama Theater closing temporarily to renovate kitchen and expand food offerings. And do you have any idea what that headline happens to be now? Because it's very different. Seattle Cinerama lays off a number of employees during temporary closure of theater for renovations.
By the way, this is why people hate the fucking media, though, because I love it because according to GeekWire, the most important part of the story was, hey, guys, you can get pizza at the Cinerama now. And it wasn't until they got yelled at, basically, that they're like, oh. And they still just said they lay off a number of employees, which according to everyone on Twitter, they laid off every employee, which isn't a number. That's the whole group. Yeah.
Well, except for like, you know, the GM and the, you know, management under them who are going to manage this fucking renovation process and then do the hiring when they reopen. But look, this is fucked up. You know, because the script is just running through my fucking head. I feel the need to point out that this is the kind of thing that is meant to be combated by Bernie's Workplace Democracy Act, under which at-will employment would be abolished. I don't know how that I can't think right now how that applies to layoffs, but because probably that is cause. But anyway, but still, you know, it would reduce an employer's ability to just like strip you of your livelihood on a whim. It also require all large corporations to pay out stock to employees until 20% are owned by the workers, and it would require all large corporate boards to elect 40 to have 40% of all large corporate board 45%, excuse me, of all large corporate boards elected by the workers. So yeah, workplace democracy, folks. It's what socialism's all about.
Well, yeah, I mean, what a good feeling for those new people who are going to be working at Cinerama when they find
it's not gonna
out
matter to
when
them,
they see
and-
the mass graves behind the place. But yeah,
But you know,
but no, I'm not talking about Bernie's platform. I'm just talking about Cinerama.
no, I know. It sucks for these people. It sucks that there's going to be pizza and fucking burgers at Cinerama and fucking like curly fry nachos and shit, and like
Greg orders
fucking
all these things when he goes to the theater with me. I just want to
fuck
point
you,
this out.
dude. Fuck you.
Well, just sell it.
But-
just fucking sell it. That's what you want to do. Just sell it. It's clearly you wouldn't do this if the business was working, and it must not be working. Just sell it.
I don't know. People
just get
fuck
rid of
with
it.
shit all the time, dude. Like, look what they did with
Why?
this fucking app.
I know, but why?
I don't know. But hey, but in all seriousness, like while I'm on this, like I still feel like harping on this because I think usually when we like, you know, the socialist left talks like really gets real about Bernie's platform, it's usually sort of assigned the sort of social democracy label, and I think that's largely very true. But I think the Workplace Democracy Act at least points to a direction, like an opening. Like if we're hoping that a Bernie Sanders administration like opens the door, like gets a wedge in to allow people to give people space to organize. That's what that's about, because obviously the idea is like you're talking about actual worker ownership in enterprise, and even more than that, control taken away from shareholders and given to workers through elections on the board. And you know, that is a starting point from which, given that power, people can choose to use that to organize and use that and control it in that way. And you know, in a future that maybe leads from that someday, all the workers at Cinerama would fucking own Cinerama, and they wouldn't fucking fire themselves, you know?
Oh yeah, well, and on that tip, right? I mean, you know, part of the function of the state, right, in setting laws and things like that is to set norms. And right now, I mean, workers, you know, for the most part, do genuinely believe they deserve nothing at work, and are like, they bought into the sort of dictatorship on the job. And even if you, want to be a Maoist and say, oh, great, you get 45% of the board so that 55% can vote against you every time, you're establishing in people's heads that they belong on the board, right? Which is something that hasn't existed in America for a long time, right?
Yeah.
This just very concept that they deserve a say in how their workplace is run, which if people get that in their head and start to run with it, well, you know,
there's no
there's a
promise
reason why they don't want us to have it.
There's no reason why all the power of money of the shareholders couldn't just, you know, fucking buy those board elections. But the point is, yeah, it opens up space, and it does so in a way that like puts power on the table to be taken, actual power. And that's, you know, in a way that is different too than like actual control, actual ownership in stock, and actual power on the board is like, this would actually be like really real tangible power, you know, potentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's potentially subject to capture and things like that, but so is literally everything the state does, right? So the basic thing is that you have to, when these slivers are opened up to you, you have to actually seize the opportunity and take it. And, you know, I think part of the reason, I mean, this is part of the reason why there's been this big vehement pushback against Medicare for all. It's not just about the lost profits, although that's a huge part of it. A lot of it too is about this idea of people getting it in their heads
that not to live.
Yeah, that they deserve to live, right? That whether they live or die is not up to their boss's whim, right? And certainly if you're in the capitalist class, like, people having that in their heads that whether or not they live or die is up to you is in your benefit, and them thinking they actually have a right to that life is not in your benefit, right? And so, I think the capitalist class has a natural innate fear of giving people those kind of rights because,
of course.
well, if we give them that, what would they demand next? Now you want to live with dignity? Holy shit.
And look, I mean, these people, these workers at Cinerama, like, have just seen, their lives, just the entire basis of their lives just gone. And not only does that make them powerless in their life, and because they're powerless at work, but they have it's it's life and death, like
Yeah.
So something like Medicare for All, like, also, even if it doesn't give you any power at work, it takes some power in your life away from capital, so that you are less dependent on, like, your life is less fucked if you do get fucked over like this and laid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hate everything about this Cinerama story. I think it sucks.
It's terrible.
If they like, oh god, if they like rip out like lanes of seats for waiters to walk down and like put in like the fucking counter tables and like the buzzers to like bring the waiter over to get your tater tot nachos refilled, like, I mean, they might as well go all the way. Go out. What Cinerama? It's the biggest. It's the best. It's the glitziest. It has the best presentation. They're always on the cutting edge. They're under the reign of glorious billionaire overlord Paul Allen. They're always been on the cutting edge of new presentation technologies, both in sound and picture. Like, just take it further. Like, if you're gonna do this, have like nacho cheese dispenser at every seat, like from a central heated vat with tubes going through the floor.
I feel like Greg's trying to convince me that this is good. Actually,
make it like
make a trough so you can just piss in your seat,
dude. Sushi conveyor belt. Okay,
beautiful. Oh, God,
right in
I
front of you.
Would endorse that.
Like fondue, like a fondue station between every two seats, so that like two people like share a fondue between them. But or like you have to, or like you select your seat based on like what you want to order. So if you want to have like, you can order from the menu that they bring you, but then like if you want the sushi conveyor, you're over in section D. If you want the fondue pot, you're over here. If you want the Korean barbecue, you've got to sit down kind of in the front few rows. I mean, yeah, sure. Just like go big or go home. Do it if you're gonna pervert like the one remaining like possibility for a cinematic experience, which who cares? Cinema's dead. They're not making any movies anymore, so I don't actually care. Fuck it. I just occasionally wanted to like go watch Lawrence of Arabia in 70 millimeter like once every like 5 years, but whatever. I guess I can do that and like stain my shirt with fucking chili.
Lawrence of Arabia, very problematic. How about we turn the upper balcony into a bowling alley, so it's like a bowlerama, Cinerama thing.
Oh my
and
god!
You can, like, bowl and watch the movie.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, dude. That is something you should pitch before they like finalize the new plans. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, sometimes it's a little dark in there. Maybe they can keep the lights like basically on.
Oh, well, I mean, it's hard to eat in the dark. That is actually a problem. A main complaint about the beer theater that Brian makes me go to all the time is that it's kind of too dark to like properly eat. Because, not only is it just the logistics of it, like getting the slop from the trough to your gullet, but also, the presentation is a factor in a meal. It's as much an aesthetic visual experience as cinema itself.
Hey, I was Chopped.
Yeah, exactly. So, if we could just keep the lights up, so that we can see the way our garlic fries like cascade into the gingham paper basket, then everyone can have the best possible cinematic fucking experience.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and I hope to never go to the Cinerama again. Maybe
I'm
I'll
okay with
open a
that.
theater
Let's just never
that
go.
it'll be like a drive-in, except it'll be indoors. So the seats will be rusted out cars, and it will also serve food, obviously.
Hell yeah, love it.
Yeah, cool. You know what? They should roller skate to your seat with your
They should.
with your Impossible Burger.
By the way, they should
Ooh.
bring. I'm actually not against this because they should bring drive-ins back. I don't know if you guys ever been to one, but they rule.
Yeah,
They're
drive-ins
awesome.
are cool.
Yeah.
There's one in on the peninsula.
Oh, nice. There used to be one in Everett for a long time,
There
and then they
did.
got rid of
There
it.
used to be one fucking everywhere. But
well, I meant in our memories, not the 1950s.
no, seriously,
ass.
even in our lifetime, there were many like even operating in Washington State.
All right, let's fucking end this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this has been a pretty shitty 24 hours, and
I'm loving it.
I would say again, yeah. I mean, good for Bernie, but just like what a fucking hell world. Do not go to the Cinerama. Fuck them. Go to other cooler theaters.
Just go to the
especially,
Beacon.
like,
Fuck
the
it, dude.
Beacon.
Actually, look,
Lean
it's
into the
tiny,
Beacon.
but it doesn't matter. Actually, the presentation is really nice. It's a great fucking way to watch a movie. Like it feels right in there. Like the proportions are like dead on. The sound is great. Don't sit directly under the air conditioner because you will leave with a wet ass. But other than that,
it's not tiny for something. It's intimate. And
it
it's
is.
amazing.
No, it doesn't feel when you're watching the movie like it actually. They got the proportions are like perfect, so it doesn't feel like as small a theater as it is. And there's no bad seat. It's great. I love it, and they're programming movies you would actually want to like sit and watch, not like just schlock. It's
best. Honestly, best in the city. Like, without a doubt.
there's no. I mean, I don't even really
unequivocally.
want to go to any other theater at this point. Like,
So,
why?
Yeah. No, there's no reason. There's literally no reason. So get out there, get to the Beacon. Yeah. Did you guys have anything else? Anything else to say?
No, Colin. You have our permission to die.
All I can say is tomorrow I will be home, back on the boat, and even in amidst the incredible like highs and good vibes of this weekend, my mind would wander ahead to this moment when I will be home and utterly alone.